Okay, so we got a multiple key levels swept, and we got a big fat W pattern. Market's been selling off for days. So I worked in some liquidity on this little Heikin-Ashi rotation. Took some off, pulled back, worked some more liquidity in, and we'll see if this baby can fly a bit. And I'm only in 5. I should really put this much higher, but I'm way over daily goal, so I'm just playing it a little bit light in here and see what we go. You never know, they could rip this thing lower, and it's the later part of the day. It's about 11 minutes to 1 Chicago time. If it was earlier in the day, I'd move my targets higher, but you never know. Matter of fact, now I'll leave them where they're at. So just want to show some settings I've been working with as I experiment with settings after looking at flip-to-flip optimization data. Here is a Renko setting of a 37-17-7 I've been playing around with. And the iGrid Evo, I've got it set at 27 transparent, 19 2.2 cyan dodger blue, and 8 medium spring green and tomato on a chart background coloring that is slate gray background color, I guess is what they call it. So anyhow, that's a background color. I think I have white smoke for the colors here. And what I did to my candlesticks is I set them all gray. So I really don't care about the candlestick coloring just for my use. You could set them silver if you wanted them to be brighter. I kind of want to see them. I want to see where the pivots are. Actually, on this chart, they're set at a dim gray. On some other charts, I have them set at just gray. So the wicks and everything, you could make the wicks silver if you wanted them to be brighter to see them, but I either have them set at gray or dim gray, and that works. So anyhow, we were long earlier this morning. That was a nice long. We did a level sweep out of the pre-market open, and they bought it. That was a nice little ramp. Little bit of a pullback, and then that secondary ramp put me over daily goal. I did work the short side. I didn't get in here. I worked in some liquidity right there and right there and wrote it down a little bit. That put me well over daily goal. Now I'm nibbling down here on the bottom. I think I put in, what did I put in? 7 MNQs, took off 4, had 3 runners, nothing ran. Came back down, added a little bit. So I only have 5 left on. I already took some liquidity out. And all I do on Apex accounts is go for 1,100 a day per 300K account. So earlier in the day, I thought it was a pretty easy day. You had a one and done on the long plays if you work those. I did like this little W pattern right here that led up to the second lift and rotation higher. And that was after a level sweep and then a higher pivot low stair-stepping type pattern. So then seeing the little mini W and lift and go time. So one long worked, second long worked. I didn't catch any of the short side play from the after hour session. Okay, so here's another. I've been playing around with range bar. I've been looking at like 15 range bar, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, going up odd numbers. Here's one I'm on. I'm on a 21 range bar. This again is just kind of looking more for a bigger picture structural look of things. Just kind of showing me price in a little bit of a different look than a Renko. And I like that. I like that look so far. So this one I have backed off. I just want to see the bigger picture structural moves. I've got this on a 88 transparent, 19.3, and a 8. So just figured I'd point out some stuff, just some settings I'm working with on my experimental box here. Okay, I'm going to work in a little bit of liquidity back here on lift. If we get a lift again. Okay, I've been working in liquidities on these rotations since we've had a level sweep. If institutionals actually get in here and play, they should rip this above this pivot. There was actually some sellers embedded in here. They could rip it right through and run a mean short covering rally into the end part of the day if they get in here. Right now, the buy response is very soft. That might be by design. It's now 1 o'clock U.S. Central Time. They might be softly buying the area. The later they go in the day, the easier it is to get magnificent short covering rallies, especially after we've been selling and the markets have been going lower and lower and lower for many, many trade days now, which is kind of different than the prior 5.5 months where we couldn't stop going up. You know, they just bought every pullback like crazy. Now the whole switch is flipped. Now, you know, they're not buying much at all. So anyhow, the money I've made on these rotations, I'm good to about the 523s level. If this came down there, I could blip it out, and I didn't make anything on this trade, and I haven't lost anything, and I'll still defend a daily profit objective of 1100 per account. We do have the potential of a higher pivot low with the W formation, but the buy response in here is very sluggish and the trade speed is garbage. I can just tell there's not any big institutional side buy action yet. If it does, it'll get very linear nature. The trade speed will go up and the upticking of price to downticking bias will shift very positive, and we don't have that. We have little light buying and then settle back. Little light buying, settle back. So we've had a double bottom, a higher pivot low, but we have lower pivots. So in a sense, we're coiling up a bit to either go lower or they finally work it up, bust this pivot. These sellers would let go fast. They could drive this much higher, and then, you know, bit of sellers in here that, you know, they might have to work through a bit unless they just go nuts into the end part of the day and give us a mean rally that we haven't had. We haven't had any of those in many, many days. Now this rally out of this morning on this chart, that was pretty decent. That was a pretty decent rally. So got a bit of a deep pullback here. This one stayed long with the settings I use. And again, this is more of like a bigger picture look at the market. That was end of day garbage. Then the pump late part of the day into the overnight session. The selling in the overnight session accelerated through this morning. Did a key level sweep. Big buy out of that. It settled back. They came in, bought it again hard, and just grinded it up. And they were working it hard in here, and then they just exhausted the buy side, and we settled back and came all the way back down, swept this level, and we'll see if they can get in here. And you can see we're getting a little bit of hook pattern in here. Just a little bit of a hook pattern. This is the key pivot area to bust to trigger more prominent short covering on any potential upside move. So anyhow, just wanted to show you some pivots that I was looking at. We'll stand by here and I'll come back in a few minutes, see what we got. Right now it's just the trade speed is junk. It's 1:04 Chicago time, so we got about an hour and 55 minutes left in the trade day. So we're getting into the time of day where you can get a very significant directional move up or down. So we'll see what we get. If this doesn't hold, we could definitely make a leg lower on the day, maybe before real institutional type buyers are enticed to come in at all and possibly buy the market today. You know, to a point where they defend their buying and keep propelling it higher and park it a bit higher into the end of day. So we'll stand by and see what we get. Peek their heads below that area. See if they could get any sellers in. I put a chunk back on there. I've already taken that out, thinned down a bit. Again, I'm defending my 1100 per account for a 300K account daily goal. So I'm only in what, 5? Yeah, 5 left. And if we can break this pivot, this could get some legs, especially if institutionals decide this is a, buy it up at the end of the day and start cleaning up the mess from many days of selling. Never know when one of those kind of modes can kick off. And let me see, I got some targets on TPT I want to adjust here real quick on my other accounts. I'll come back and we'll cover some more items here. Now we're getting the trade speed and the uptick downtick bias that I like to see when I'm long to make me want to stay in the long. So that was a decent, that's some institutionals coming in. That's not a bunch of retailers. So anyhow, like this short signal right here, I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to take a short signal at an area where we've just done level sweep. That's just not something I'm going to do. This is a very key level. We swept it. So if I get a short signal when I'm trading manual discretionary, I'm not going to short looking for a breakdown lower. If it happens, it happens. I just don't want to short it. I'd rather be a buyer down here. Now if I wanted to wait, if I didn't want to work in some liquidity right here, and then if it sticks when I get my flip, I could put in a little more liquidity, or I can just wait for the primary, and then you got your stop, never any more than most recent price pivot when you're trading manual discretionary mode. So we'll see what we get. This is stayed short the whole time. This is a little bit bigger picture look of things. This is a little bit more responsive. This is Renko. This is range bar. Okay, so just hit another target. Only got 3 MNQs left. I just personally trade MNQs when I'm working, these prop accounts, just when I'm hand trading. For automated, it's a different story. I don't have a problem running full NQs on a 300K account. On a 150K account, no thanks. I'll stick with MNQs. You guys can do whatever you want. But anyhow, so covered some additional time frames you can take a look at. And then if you have any questions, then just email me, info@gridalgo.com. There you have it. Have a great day, and I'll put out more videos tomorrow.